Hi, I'm Isaiah,
Hey, I'm Jess.
and today we're going to be reviewing Pixar's newest movie, Soul.
What we liked, what we hated, stay and find out. So we're talking about Soul. Soul is the story of Joe Gardner, a middle school band teacher who finally, after years of trying, gets a chance of a lifetime. But his chance is kind of put on hold when he accidentally falls down a manhole and puts himself in limbo.
So when he travels to his new realm and helps someone find their passion, he soon discovers what it means to have a soul.
So Isaiah, what do you like about Soul?
Well, first off, I really love the voice actors. Like Tina Fey and Jamie Foxx did very well in their respective roles, and honestly, I feel like they really brought the characters to life. I couldn't imagine any other actors really playing those characters. And then also how it blends well with like the animation of their characters. I don't know why, but it fits really well with it. And then even with the music, I feel like they picked the right characters and actors for each of the respective roles throughout the movie, and they just blend so well together with like the voice acting, the music, and the animation. It's just a really nice experience, and honestly, I loved it. What about you? What did you think?
Honestly, I have to agree. The animation, the music, and the way that the characters portrayed themselves just blended beautifully. I loved how the music really melded with the animation, let it really soar above what you could expect from this kind of thing. And just the way the voice actors really delved into their characters, it was hilarious to watch. It was lovely. I really love the dynamic between the two. Just how Joe is just a desperate older guy is just like, I don't care about you and you don't care about me. We both understand that. We have a partnership going here. Let's just get this done. And 22 is just like, whatever, old man.
Yeah, just like the dynamic between the two, like how Joe is the older man, even though 22 has probably been around a lot longer than Joe has. It's just like, wow, you're such an old soul, yet you act like a teenager the whole time. It's funny. Like, I think just the dynamic between the two, it's something very interesting.
It's the main thought I've had about 22 since the beginning is that I have never seen a soul who has not even been born yet, so ready to be a teenager. It was hysterical. It was hysterical to watch. I mean, how can you not love a character who just has sass going through their veins?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's why I love both of the characters and just like how well they blend within the movie. And yeah, it builds up a really great experience. And I think anyone would like the movie for sure. So I know I slightly touched on this earlier, but I really did love the animation. And I would say this for Pixar, that every single movie, the animation gets just a bit better and better. And I want to like give this grand comparison. So with Toy Story, we had almost all of the child characters be like copies of Andy. And they're not really individualistic with their viewpoints or like how they look. And a lot of the times they have the characters' heads off the screen. And then meanwhile in Soul, you see all of these characters and their different facial features, different clothes and everything. I really enjoy seeing how different every single character looks and how far Pixar's come in their animation style and how detailed they are. And just, it really does put me in awe in all of it, and especially how well it blends with the movie and how they use it to their advantage. I think it's a really beautiful medium to use, and it just proves that animation is not just for children's movies. What did you think, Jess?
Honestly, I loved how diverse the animation was this time. They really delved into more than just the usual whitewash thing that we've gotten used to. I mean, you had faces of different sizes, you had different clothing, you had different hairstyles. It was wonderful to watch. And especially how it really seemed to delve into who these people were. I mean, I could list any number of characters who their facial expressions, their hairstyle, their clothes just reflected who they were, and that is what animation is supposed to do. So I really love that Pixar's really embracing that. But can we just talk about like how the animation really melded with the music? Because honestly, it was astounding.
I know, like especially whenever Joe is in the zone or like anybody's in the zone in this movie, it's just like you see how deep they are, and you can see like within their eyes, you can see it throughout their surroundings and the environment. And it's just a beautiful thing to see because not only is it just like beautifully animated, but it's also like an experience that you can only imagine, yet they were able to put it on screen. And you're just like, wow.
When you're in the zone, you have all these artists literally floating in the air, enjoying their passion, just in that midpoint between life and whatever else is out there. I mean, you can't tell me as an artist that's not how it feels. So for them to actually really delve into this is exactly what it would look like, and we could actually picture this. It's astounding and it's amazing, and I dare anybody not to be in awe of that kind of thing. So Isaiah, what didn't you like about the movie? I know you had some issues with the backstory.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily any issues. I just feel like there's just maybe one or two things that they could have done better with the movie. First of all, I really wish that they would have given us just a little bit more backstory or information on Joe's father, maybe even scenes with them together, because I feel like there was just not enough for me. His connection with his father, I couldn't get that out of the movie, or like the context that they gave me. And also, I really think that the ending could have been a bit stronger. I don't know how, because like I think the ending was like very natural, but at the same time, it just doesn't compare to like the strong endings you've seen in past Pixar movies. And overall, I think the ending may have been just a bit weak in comparison, but it was still really good. And I don't have too many critiques other than those two.
Please, I kind of have to disagree with you on how the ending went. It was a little unexpected for me to have the ending the way that it did. I mean, it shouldn't have been a surprise. It's Pixar. But I really enjoyed how they had it kind of open-ended but optimistic, because that is kind of the trademark that I personally love in animation. As for Joe's dad, I don't really think he needed to be in the picture too much, because I don't know about you, but I've gotten tired of stories always having to have like strong exposition of, oh, my father was so-and-so, oh, my mother was so-and-so, and because the story didn't really need it. Joe is a grown man who has grown beyond his parents' shadows. I mean, yeah, his dad is definitely a strong influence on his life, but it wasn't something that like needed to be like, oh, I am into piano or I'm into jazz because my father was a musician, yada yada. Joe was a musician because he loves music for itself. And yeah, his dad's an influence, but it's for him first and foremost. And that's something that I just really love how they did it for this one. Personally, some of the things that I didn't like about it was that I think they could have had Joe have more of a relationship with some of the other characters. Because I get that it's supposed to be part of his character that he's so into jazz he doesn't really connect with other characters. Jazz is kind of a barrier between him and actually living life, ironically. But it's something that I would have liked to see him like really have a personal relationship with somebody else. Because that's something I don't think we really saw in here, and that's something that I think would have been cool.
Oh yeah, and I think there was kind of spoiler alert, Joe has somewhat of a relationship with not only like his family and friends, but they mentioned like every now and then this girl that he has in store, but they never touch on her as well. Like it leaves it very ambiguous. There's some points in the movie, there are some points in the movies that are left ambiguous, and I feel like I just wanted a little bit more, you know, and it's not to like overstate it, but I think that if we're given a little bit more information on some of the things that they may have not touched on enough, we might have been able to get a better picture overall of what happened, and maybe just, you know,
you got a point there. I don't think we ever even saw the girl. I mean, we got the name, I think, but that was basically it. There was really no mention whatsoever beyond, that one thing that's, oh yeah, there's a girl in the picture. Who, what, when? Explanations?
Yeah, but overall, I think the movie was spectacular, and there's not too many critiques other than like maybe just giving us a little bit more information so we don't feel left out in the dark as an audience.
Honestly, same. I really love how ambiguous it was that this was Joe's story, this was 22's story, and the story was about them figuring out how to be alive, and that's something not a lot of people or stories do, and I have to admire that. We have another host who would like to chime in. Jess, do you have something to say?
Hey, okay, I'm Jess. I'm the resident Black person for this review. So, Soul was the first Pixar movie to star a Black lead. We know we had Princess and the Frog, but that was Disney. That wasn't Pixar. And like the cast is full of like Black royalty. We got Jamie Foxx, Felicia Rashad, Angela Bassett as Dorothea Williams. I was just like so excited to watch a movie full of like a lot of Black people. Now, There's a little bit of controversy when this movie first came out, when the trailer came out. I was a little upset, along with some other people, because the trailer starts out, the main character, Joe, he's only black for like 5 seconds, and immediately he's a blue blob.
I said, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
So people were like, oh my gosh, like, why is he only blue for 5 seconds? I want to see a black man on screen. That's so annoying. Why do you always make black people characters? I mean, non-black people. But that wasn't really a problem in this movie. He was blue for some of it, but then he was black for some of it. So like, I approve of it. Also though, I would like to say, whenever I'm watching like a cartoon and there are black people in it, it's usually just white people painted brown with afros. They don't really change the design. You know what I mean? It's like basic, let's just like fill it in like coloring book. But the barbershop scene, and I saw all the different like hairstyles and all the different shapes of black people, I really felt like they really did their research and wanted to like actually showcase how black people are in the real world. And yeah, it didn't really feel like they were phoning it in. It felt natural, it felt right. So that's me, Jess, your resident black person with their afro. Pass it back off to y'all.
So overall, what did you think of the movie, Jess?
Overall, I loved it. It was an adult theme that still had the Pixar feel. The animation was beautiful. The music was fantastic. I loved the diversity and everything about it, except for like a few nitpicks here and there. It was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, can you think of anything better?
Honestly, like, I think that this is one of the best movies Pixar's come out with within the past couple of years. Like, in my opinion, I think it is. I love how it has its own theme of, you know, smell the roses here and there, and it's just like a very, I would say, more of like an adult style Pixar movie. Like, you don't see too many of those. Like, I think whenever the creators are making this, they're like, okay, let's get one specifically for the adults, and that's what they did. They presented something very breathtaking, and it proved to me again that animation is a medium for making movies, not just kids movies, but like movies period. And I think it stacks up well with the other Pixar movies in the catalog. Like, I know a lot of people compare it to Coco or Inside Out, and I do admit that the themes are kind of similar, but I do think that this is a great standalone film and that it's really good on its own. Like, you don't need to compare it to other movies to say that this is great. You can just admit that the movie is great overall. And I think every single element within the movie blends well together to create some kind of vivid and memorable experience. Thanks for watching our review of Soul.
I'm Jess.
I'm Isaiah.
Make sure to like this video and to subscribe to Coog TV.
And stay tuned for more Coog Cinema review content.
Stay jazzy, y'all.